Today, we answer the age-old question that I just made up. What would happen if Doodle Jump chose violence? In 2009, the App Store exploded with some absolute classics such as Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Zombieville, iBeer, and of course, Doodle Jump. Now imagine that game made today in Unreal Engine 5 with blood, gore, and dual-wielding pistols, all made by someone with questionable coding skills. So the first thing we have to do is model the main character. This is pretty simple since he's basically just a bean with legs. Play the montage.
Wow!
I've been practicing my editing skills in case you couldn't tell. Anyway, now that we have our doodle model, we just need to texture him. Oh god, that's so cursed. For real though, it's a super simple model. I'm just adding block colors to the different sections, and just like that, we're done. I imported everything into Unreal and added a subsurface scattering material. Now you can see that little edge glow, that's the scattering at work. RGB Gamer Bean, Corsair hit me up, I have more ideas. Yeah, so this is what we looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Let's make a jumping animation inside of Unreal. Keyframe that, boom. Easy peasy, we have a jumping animation. This is the part where it starts to get codey, but stick with me because I cut out all the boring bits for you. Basically, we need to make a way for a platform to launch the player up along the Z-axis, and then we need to make it so that those platforms move about and randomize their position and type. This clip is the first step completed, and it's just a proof of concept to show that the platforms do actually launch the player.
A few moments later.
To place the platforms, I made this course blueprint. I'll just run through it real quick. So basically, I can set the amount of platforms I want to randomly generate here. I can then get the bounds for the course, and I randomly generate points within that area to place the platforms on. Making this all random sometimes creates this problem where the platforms can spawn too far apart for the player to jump between them. To get around this, I have some platforms that will always be there and are perfectly spaced out to just be reachable. Now I have my platform placement, I can switch them out with select nodes. I have a few here as they also work as a difficulty system. The higher you go, the harder it gets. Oh, and when the player overlaps the edges of the course, I teleport them to the other side. I'm making 4 platform types: breakable, glass, moving, and static. The moving one ended up being a surprising pain in my ass as they all moved together like this. I ended up making a hacky fix by randomizing the speed that the platforms move, so now they aren't all just in a straight line. This solution actually worked quite well as some of these platforms are quite fast and it does make it more challenging. I made the breakable one obviously break, the glass one breaks after 1 bounce, and the static just does nothing. These items are really simple, so try to keep up. Platform plus spring equals spring platform. Platform plus jetpack equals jetpack platform. Did you notice those inverted normals there? Instead of finding the cause of that, I just made the material double-sided and now you can't tell. Okay, I felt like a bit of an idiot for this, but I forgot that you could shoot and doodle jump. And I didn't want to remake my main character, so instead I just gave him buff arms. And this was the point that I pivoted the project towards violence. But honestly, I'm glad because this twist is so much better than normal doodle jump. I got the arms in and I created this aim offset slider. I wanted the arms to move to where the mouse was. I got the guns to fire, but currently they only shoot in one direction. I wanted to try out some different systems for this, but I didn't have much luck. This one where you click and the sphere appears was the one I wanted to implement. I just wanted the bullet to travel from the gun to this point, but I couldn't figure that out in the end and went with something simpler. Oh, and I thought I'd show you what happens when you leave the screen. Basically a collision attached to the camera just deletes everything. Here are the enemies I made. The red one, I'm going to make that a flying one. But basically to make them explode on hit, I take them into Houdini and I fracture them. So I take all of those fractured pieces from Houdini and I take them into Unreal, and then I can use them as giblets for explosions. I also added functionality where you can jump on their heads and get boosted a little bit higher than a normal platform. I bought some blood splats, which are super over the top, but I love them. I also copped some blood decals. Oh yeah. slightly distracting, the explosions, but I think we stick with it. Yeah, I mean, the top looks pretty difficult now. I'm going to have to try and finish this at some point. I added a quick and not very good distance counter. It just tracks the distance between the start location and the player's current location, and then I display that via a HUD UI. I think that's pretty much everything that I need to make. So I think I'll just call it here and show you the final result. So here we are. Thank you if you've made it to the end. This is my first time making a game concept like this. I've always wanted to be more involved with the sort of coding side of things, so I thought I'd try my hand at something new. Yeah, please subscribe if you'd like to see more, and leave a comment too, because it's really nice to chat to you guys. Alright, that's it. Bye bye.